of yesteryear. Now, today we are concentrating on another great rabbi in this grandiose series in of itself. His name was Rabbi Yitzhak Zarchia Azoulay. Zeche Tzadik Livracha happens to be his Hilula over here on the 23rd of Tevet, Chav Gimel Tevet. Naturally, we will say in Hebrew. He was born in the English year 1701 and passed away in 1765. He was a great judge, a Diyan. He was one of the great rabbis of Jerusalem, especially during the 18th century. And he, most famously also, is the father of the, let's say, the world-famous Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azoulay, also popularly known as Zarchia. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Jerusalem, one of the four holy cities of Israel. This was in the Hebrew year, Hey Tav Samach Bet, naturally 1701. And he came from great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was Rabbi Azoulay, a very, very great rabbi. He, I believe, happened to be in of itself a grandson of Rabbi Avram Azoulay and a Talmid of the famous Pri Chadash, great rabbi in of itself. It was just his Hilula quite recently, also known as Rabbi Heskia di Silua, very, very great rabbi. It was very interesting enough. So he would get married to Rabbanit Sarah, happened to be the daughter of the famous Kabbalist Rabbi Yosef Biala, very, very great rabbi who I think made Aliyah to Jerusalem at one stage in time. I think Baliat Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, very famously, which is recounted over one of the great rabbis, let's just say, from Lithuania in of itself. While he was young, he would become, let's just say, in of itself, connected to the yeshiva. He had the connection with and the Beit Midrash of Yeshivat Bet Yaakov, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before, which was like, let's say, a bastion of the yeshivot at that stage in time. Also popularly known as Yeshivat Bet Yaakov Pereira, very much in of itself. I think actually that yeshiva was established in the year 1691, and I think he very much connected to the famous Pri Chadash also, and he would actually learn under the auspice of another famous rabbi who happened to be Rishon LeZion, Rabbi Avram Yitzchaki, one of the famous rabbis. I think he was actually the Rishon LeZion between the years 1715 to 1722. And he was also author of the Shut Zera of Abraham, the Sheilot and Shuvot, grandiose book in of itself. He would live in Jerusalem and will become part of the Jewish court of the Bet Din of the Rishon LeZion, Rabbi Eliezer Nachum, another great rabbi in of itself, spoken about the Rishon LeZion, the various different chief rabbis of Israel of yesterday. He happened to be himself this chief rabbi, the head of the Jewish court, Rosh Yeshiva in Adrianople in Turkey at one stage in time, and the author of various great books in of itself. So he was very much, very, very well connected with many great rabbis over there, especially Rabbi Eliezer Nachum, and exchanged letters with him, and robust discussion within regards to different Torah topics. He also served as a member of the court of another great rabbi we have mentioned about on various occasions before. His name was Rabbi Miyuchas Bachar Shmuel. I think he would actually work along with Rabbi Yaakov Ashkenazi at that stage in time inside this great court in himself famously. He is, I think, actually reported over, considered one of the 7 greatest sages in the city, and signed various different regulations, rulings, and gave haskamot to various different Torah books in of itself, Svarim in itself, which has to be pointed out. I believe it was reported over that in the year 1798, if I'm not mistaken, there were sad ships. I believe his wife passed away from a plague at that time, Magefa. That was unfortunately during the 1700s. And he would get married later on, and this is what is reported over. He would get married later on. And I believe in the years later on, shortly afterwards, he would actually travel with Rabbi Avram ben Asher to the cities in the main cities, let's just say, in Western Europe, on behalf of the residents of Jerusalem as a shluchei d'Rabbanan, a shadar, as they call representatively. And the job of a shadar would be to raise funds for Jerusalem or the locale they are coming from. But at the same time, in Western Europe where they were going, or whatever country they were going to mitchazek those communities, strengthen those communities and inject some Torah in over there. I believe he would arrive in Kushta, but sadly, I think at that stage in time, he fell ill and then would return to Jerusalem. And then that's how I think the name Raphael was added to his name because that's a whole topic on of itself, how you can add names and it brings like extra protection for the person in of itself. Now, he passed away, I believe, in English year 1765, if I'm not mistaken, on January the 16th, and he died in Jerusalem. Naturally, that was on the 23rd of Tevet. So what's interesting now, he, besides, obviously we know that the Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azoulay, was his son, and I believe he happened to be his oldest son, if I'm not mistaken. There was Rabbi Yitzhak Zrikha had a number of sons also, and but I think some of them sadly passed away at a very young age. He had also two daughters. I believe his brother-in-law was Rabbi Yonah Navon, a very famous rabbi, which we've spoken about on various occasions before. I think we were going to do actually a video on him quite recently. He happened to be the author of the Torah book called the Nechpa B'Kesef, and he was actually the rabbi of the Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azoulay, which you have to also point out. So it just shows the greatness of the rabbi, and the mass of Rabbanim he was connected to in of itself. Now, he left behind some great Torah books in of itself. I think some of them was in manuscript form, various different Chidushim teachings on the Drashot. In the name, the book was called Zera Yitzhak. Various different Torah novelties on the Torah would come about from his son, the Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azoulay, in various different of his books, and he mentions him in various different Kiddushei Torah. In various different places, also the famous Chidadas, which is many people learn the books of, let's say, I think in the book the Admat Kodesh, especially by Rabbi Nisim Chaim Moshe Mizrahi, I think there was replying with regards to halachic correspondence with Rabbi Eliezer Nachum, which was printed in the Beit Aaron, Yisrael. Also, it's actually famous. He had a famous Chatima, a signature, which was in the shape of a ship, as we say, a svina, as we say in Hebrew, and was, let's just say, it was also the custom of various ancestors and his son, the Hida. Apparently, it was reported over that an incident happened to his elder brother, Rabbi Avraham Azoulay, who happened to be a very great rabbi, when a ship sank, but he was miraculously saved. I would recommend everyone to learn about that story in of itself. Now, he passed away, as we said before, in the year 1765. So, friends, that is about 260 years ago, approximately, from the time of recording. In 2025, he was buried, I believe, in Jerusalem, one of the great rabbis of his time period, the author of the Zera Yitzhak, the son of Rabbi Yeshayahu Azoulay, and the father of the famous Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azoulay. Friends, we are a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you feel anyone is interested in watching the great rabbis on the Chachamim, learning about them, please share the videos to them. Please subscribe to the channel. We are a community here. I'm wishing you blessings from Israel. Take care and have a meaningful week.